Bitcoin, technical analysis, and macroeconomic fundamentals. By the end of this stream, you'll have everything you need to know about Bitcoin before anyone else does. Guaranteed. The 4-hour chart, the noisy little so-and-so. Yesterday, we said that if we get rejected from this level with this arbitrary doodle we put on, we would likely go back down and retest our support. We retested it with a little bit of a long hair, don't care wick here. Boom, got back up, came down, crashed through it. Second knock, 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 boom, down through it. And now we are again in the upper east end of this channel of eternal monotony. Now, as you can see, we have got a lot of bullish prowess down at this level. We have a little wick graveyard here of sellers, retail sellers. Oh, are we selling? Okay, I'm selling too. Boom, goes back up. Or are we selling? Yeah, okay, I'll sell too. Boom, goes back up. So now we can see the wicks have gotten a little bit smaller, They're not going to. Oh, I have a question too from the commenters yesterday with the volume difference. Was there a massive volume difference between the little pre-recorded video and my voice now? If there was, if you didn't even notice it, I was going to say don't put anything, but if it seemed normal, the problem is that I can't. It sounds the same to me, so I don't get what you get, which makes this whole live thing very difficult, because what I hear is fine, but sounds better today, Bruce Mai. Okay, well, I turned it down a little bit on it's called movie. Anyway, that's back-end BS. It's so boring, and it's boring me to even talk about it. But we generally do see buying prowess at this level. Now, this is the third time we're knocking on this. Now I'm becoming like Drew here. People are texting me in the morning. What the hell's going on here? Put this phone away. Don't they know? No. The answer is no, they don't. It's the dad's birthday yesterday. That's why maybe I phoned him one day late. Is that a bad youngest golden child son to not happy birthday to your dad? I think he's 74. Could be, I don't know, 74, something like that. Anyway, yeah, so maybe he's phoning me back. Well, he phoned happy birthday. Anyway, volume good here. Paul Hopper over in Great Britain. Perfect. Wick, I'm still waiting for the Bitcoin supply crunch. BlackRock trying its hardest to speed that along. Well, I call it supply crunch porn. Like we've been talking about supply crunch for so long that it just becomes will it hit? I don't know. It seems, I have a little bit of a dark side philosophically when it comes to the market. And this is why I got out of trading currency back 15 years ago, is that I stopped believing that the market was a true and rational checks and balances. I thought it was a captured scenario. And I was just a lemming in a cog in the wheel. Like, why is this happening? That things didn't work the way they normally worked. And so when I hear about the supply crunch, I tiptoe through that garden again, where it's like, well, I mean, obviously it's above my pay scale, right? I'm not a pro trader because I don't know what's going on the other side. That's the difference between retail trader, pro trader. They know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. So not knowing what's going on, when I hear, 600 million inflows in BlackRock yesterday or the day before, price goes down. So I was thinking about this yesterday. Imagine 2021, 600 million inflows in a day back in 2021. It would have been the craziest purchase. I mean, it would have rocked the market. Now it doesn't even move. So it's like, makes me wonder, well, what moves it? Is the only thing that's going to move it is supply crunch? Are we just waiting for a supply crunch? Because almost $1 billion can go in. Obviously they to the detriment of retail hodlers like ourselves, the big purchases go OTC, and sellers the dumps go straight to the exchange. Perfect. What a world we live in, right? So Michael Saylor, well, he has these algorithms that buy his 1.1 billion, so it doesn't affect the market. Yeah, we wouldn't want to affect the market onto the upside. We'll just wait for the whales to dump to the downside. Whales buy OTC, whales dump exchange. It's a perfect scenario for us poor little Fraggle Rock hodlers. Anyway, we're underneath the 50 moving average. We don't want to be here. This is bearish territory. And now, make no mistake, even this little fluctuation from 101 to, it's called candlestick to candlestick 108. It's still nothing. We're just this nice little diamond. What do they call this? A diamond flag? Whatever. You can get the bottom of that. It's just two symmetrical triangles put together backwards, forwards. It's what traders like to do to reinforce their cognitive biases on where the market's going. So we are in we're hella bearish now, and that's just because we don't have any momentum to get back into the market because this is where it gets dark again, is that I feel like the majority of retail, it's not that we've lost our way. It's just that we've lost our faith in the market, so to speak. Like, I'll get back to that, remember, if I forget. Carl Elder, well, thank you for the memberships. Carl Elder on a Thursday morning gifted 5. Pianomattyb B, member shy. That's plural for memberships. Thank you, Carl Elder, helping build this channel one membership at a time. It's the one thing that keeps the lights on in this basement studio. I wish you guys could see it. The reason why I don't show you the room I'm in is because it may break your hearts, right? And I learned this from explaining songs back in my early band days. I had the song called the $300 song. I've played it a couple times. It was one of the fan favorites of my band Leaderhouse. You can find it on YouTube. It's called the $300 song. Anyway, everyone would ask, why did you call it the $300 song? And when I would explain why I called it the $300 song, I just saw their face and their disappointment just drip out of their eyes, because they probably thought I had this, fantastic philosophical reasons, maybe even spiritual aspect to why I called it the $300 song. And the truth of the matter is, I called it the $300 song because I bought this pedal called the Mega Memory Man, which made the sounds kind of sound Hawaiian. It was just an effect. And the effect cost me $300. But because of that effect, I wrote that song, and I never would have, because it was such a simple progression. Just 2 chords, right? And it had some minors in there, we won't get it. But I would never, back in that day, I was too sophisticated as a pop singer. I didn't write simple songs. I wrote tragic songs that made you think, not 2-chord wonders, right? But because of that pedal, I wrote that simple song, and it turned out to be one of the fan favorites. And so when I would say, well, I bought a pedal for $300 and I wrote the song, it's called the $300 song. Now, at the end of me talking about this, I've forgotten why I even got into this whole scenario. Why am I talking about the $300 song? You always go back to your goddamn band, Leaderhouse, Pianomattyb. Can you stick to the charts already? I sure can. Thank you for clarifying that. Keith, have you ever played patel? It's like playing squash with tennis rules. No, I have not. I'll ask the pro today when I go there about patel. I've never even heard of that. Thanks again. Anyway, Carl Elder. I know there was something I was getting at before the 5 memberships came. Oh yeah, the studio. Right. If you were to see the condition of the studio right now, it would be like explaining the $300 song to one of the song lovers. You would be like, oh my God, all this time you do that there? Because there was a flood a long time ago and the walls came down and, you know, there had to be some structural etc. going on to the foundation of the house, and it's just been taking a long time for it to get fixed. And anyway, maybe one day I will show this. Maybe when I move out of this house, I'll show you what this actually. I think I might have posted it as a member in one of the member pics. I'm not sure whether that's true or not. If anybody remembers, please let me know. Another reason to become a member, it's a 16, if you watch the videos, it's 16 cents a video to be a member of this channel and keep the lights on. Anyway, so this is bearish too. I mean, it's a double top, right? It's a double top. I'm looking at a double top. Let's say I put that in. It's so bearish that I put it in my song Astrology for Men, because it's something to always keep your mind on. I mean, we've invalidated this head and shoulders pattern, so we're out of these woods, so to speak. But this is a double top, and you know, you get rejected from a double top, you tend to go down. So now I would expect to retrace down to our channel of eternal monotony support at 97.7. Triple top, damn you. Yeah. Is it a triple top? No, just a double top. We might see a triple top if we can get back up there. If we can get back up there. So to go back to 97.5, you can imagine the whole industry would lose their mind if we were down to 97. I mean, what little exists of retail would be just evaporated under 100K, and we're clinging to it. But we said yesterday in the live stream, a rejection from this point, we would probably close January in this 100 to 102K area. And here we are. We're kind of, you know, breaking out. Kelly McBride, you posted a pic of your studio and all your hats and jackets in the membership perks page. Yeah, but I didn't show you like the setup of the TV, piano, walls, because you would remember it, because there's no walls in this room. Like, think about this. I'm in a room with studs, essentially. And not the guys I play with at the piano bar, just 2x4s, studs, and you know, you can imagine what this looks like. Anyway, maybe I'll post that. Wouldn't that be fun? So yeah, I mean, historically, when we have this 20 moving average cross the 50, we usually see a lot of good upside for price action on the ding dong on the daily chart. Now we are getting rejected because of this double top. Going down to 97.5, say bye-bye to all retail. Retail evaporates, and that's fine, because maybe retail isn't really hanging. Oh, that's why. Yeah, Mike. See, now I'm getting it. I remember what I was talking about. It's a capitulation and the loss of faith that retail has in the price action. So if retail, I mean, not us, our bags are packed. We're here for the long haul. You know, usually any DCAing is done in the bear market. You know, we're pseudo professional hodlers at this point. But the retail coming in, they may have capitulated out of price action. Well, I'm not into it. So if that doesn't come back in, now to a certain degree, the market has been captured by whales and institutions in the aspect that the market's only going to be moved by these massive buys, OTC, or these small dumps exchange. So that's where we see the volatility happening, not retail. I mean, at the same time, I could be wrong because I'm not a pro, so I don't know what's going on the back end. I can only speculate. Yeah, BCL, if retail is playing the meme trenches, that's a good point. Like, I understand the concept of memes and noobs, because I remember when, you know, early on when altcoins kind of came out, being attracted to the cheap price. You know, oh my God, this thing's 1 cent. I'm going to buy $1 of it. I'm going to buy it. You know, it takes a while to understand what that even means. So that's the learning curve of a Bitcoiner. And I say this a lot. I'm not a Bitcoin maxi. I'm a human minimalist, and all altcoins are run by humans. And humans generally will, you know, take everything down to garbage. Now, here's a perfect example of this. Zuck divorce odds on Polymarket rise to 11%. Now, this is, and I know what everyone's saying, oh my God, he's going to talk about losers again. Yes, I'm going to talk about losers because this is what motivates the male psyche, right? So we have Zuckerberg, just a cuck for the concentric circle of money and power. We know that. He just bends his knee to whoever's going to, scold him or not scold him. But at the same time, because of some of the advent in his life, the jiu-jitsu, he's becoming, his testosterone is getting a little bit higher. So it went from 6%, normally let's call it 50%, a normal guy, this is not the right metrics, but he's down at 6%. And now he's been doing some male endorphin creating competition that takes his testosterone. Normal male, would double it. But for a cuck like Zuckerberg, who basically bends the knees to a concentric circle of power and money, we won't get into that. He's up 2%, but that 2%'s a lot for such a nerdy cuck, because now he starts looking at his wife and he's like, I might have made a huge mistake here when I had no options. I basically, took the one person who I thought just liked me for me, and maybe she did, and maybe I don't care anymore because now that I've opened my eyes, I realize, well, maybe I can have one of those supermodels that Bezos has. Bezos has like a good looking. I'm going crazy here. Okay, relax here. But this is what I mean by nerds. They compare themselves to their fellow nerds. So he looks at Jeff Bezos, and this isn't about him checking out Bezos' girl's cleavage shot. I mean, you can't help that as a male. I mean, it might as well not be the sun, if that makes sense. Like you just, your eyes can't avoid it. I don't know if that makes sense, but to me, when that happens, I have to tell myself, so look straight. Just look straight. Maintain the eye contact. Don't look and then I look, right? You just can't. So I get it, but I don't think that would have happened back in Zuckerberg's early days when he was just so thankful that any woman loved him, because in the heart of hearts of a nerd loser like that, maybe he probably feels he's unlovable. I don't know, but the testosterone makes you feel more lovable. And then he starts eyeing up his, so to speak, no pun intended, well, maybe I could have more. Maybe there's more to life than, the partner that I took because no one else wanted me. I don't know. I'm just doing some morning speculation here. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink appeared for an interview at the World Economic Forums, and I quote, "If you're frightened about the debasement of your currency, or you're frightened of the economic or political stability of your country, you can have an internationally based instrument called Bitcoin that will overcome those local fears." Like I said, they're coming for the Bitcoin. These people that belong to a higher concentric circle of power and money, they don't come for some, they come for all. And one of the ways they come for all and get all is by killing us with boredom, manipulating the price, feeling like you have no power. Like I started the stream. I capitulated. I don't believe this. I don't believe that. Right? That's part of the psychological aspect. That's like, well, maybe it'll be easier just to get out. Maybe I'll just take these profits and wait for take a breather. Right? That's what they want, and then they take it. They'll eventually get it all because everyone has a selling price. Question is, what do you sell into? What do you sell into? Like what? Like the Canadian dollar. The mom always asks, well, are you ever going to sell any of your Satoshis? Yeah, for what? What would I sell it for? And slowly, the understanding comes that, why would you don't want to sell the hardest asset for the weakest asset, especially for me in Canada here. Are things changing here? No. When I speak of Zuckerberg, we have the biggest political cucks in the world, no matter whose side of the aisle you may or may not be on. It doesn't matter. SBER and NPSK, those are the banks for Russia, joined forces to launch facial payment system in Russia. Now, this is the interesting thing because these are all massive conspiracy theories. 3 years ago, it's like they'll never do that. Yes, they will. And it'll be slowly, and all of a sudden it happens. And this is the biggest takeaway from this. After the system launches, it will be interoperable, and customers from all banks will be able to pay at any facial terminal after registering their biometric data using any banking app. So there's step one, right? Well, what if you don't want to do that? Well, that's okay. You don't have to. We're not forcing you to do or take anything. We're just giving you options, like this option. While these two banks already have a facial payment system, already have it. Onboarding users is cumbersome. Yeah, it is. It's also getting people to take certain things is also very cumbersome too. Customers can only register their biometric data through these two banking apps, and payment interoperability is lacking. This means that SBER, that's the Russian bank, customers cannot pay at SBER terminals. Why is that? Because they didn't get the facial recognition. So you don't have to get it. You just can't use the bank anymore. Again, one more amazing reason to take that melting fiat and put it into Bitcoin. I mean, it's just stacking up now. Everything that we've talked about in the past little while is like hitting the normie like a brick wall. Now, is running into a brick wall enough for the normie? No. They actually like hitting their heads against the brick wall. It's like, this doesn't feel good, but this is what my whole life is like, so maybe I'll just get used to it. Since mid-December, Bitcoin has struggled to maintain levels above the 108K resistance, leading to a sideways trend. Is this the next big sleep? Are we going to go to sleep again for 3 months? I don't really see it. But again, I'm not a pro trader, so I don't know what's going on in the back end. I don't know what's going on in Trump land. I don't know what's going on in the strategic Bitcoin reserve land. I'm not privy to that. Am I Elon Musk? No. Only he knows what's going on. So until then, we're just all speculators. So it feels like the big sleep, because nothing's happened. But traditionally, like you go back and you do these fractals, a lot of Januaries are uneventful. You go back in history, a lot of Januaries are uneventful. Now we are expecting, because we're more sophisticated and professional hodlers, we've been here for a while, we know what to expect. And every time the mass consensus has this expectation of where things go, that's when the market tends to go, they're on to me? Okay, well, dump it. Right? Let's flush these expectations out. And that's what happens. The long wick rejection candles in the 108, 109 range suggest that sellers are actively defending these levels and maintaining control. Yeah, and the thing about these sell walls is that they're not kamikaze, crypto face, $2 million short sellers. They're more like just the quant bots at the volume ranges that they feel will peak out. Like they're not professional traders doing this. They're just sell walls of quant bots going, well, this is where the volume, if and when volume decreases here, we will put a short for this amount allocated, and then they get out. Wick's wife, up, down, sideways, right, left, latitude, longitude. That about sums up what we're going on. Keir Braithwaite, calculate everything in ribeyes and Bitcoin. That's what I do, essentially. It's a hard life because I can't buy anything because I think when someone says, I had a steak we have this place called Highs, which is like our steakhouse. It's really great. Now, if you make steaks, you know that no one makes better steaks than you, right? Like, especially so I'm coming up on a year carnivore. Feb 1 will be 1 year carnivore, and I haven't been 100% strict, but I've been about 95% strict, I'd say. And of that, most of it has been ribeyes. Lately, I've switched to ground beef and ground lamb. I got this farm guy. It's perfect. And I like the satiation of ground beef and some eggs. It keeps me full. Had says, does this relate to Bitcoin, pianomattyb? Yeah, in a weird way. Bitcoin led me to carnivore, really. You know how the cult goes. But I'll do a 1-year carniversary video of the ups, downs, pros, cons about it. And they're equally... I have equal amount of pros and equal amount of cons. I feel like just like anything, the biodiversity of anyone's body you can have euphoric aspects to it, which I did, and you can have negative aspects to it, which I did as well. But anyway, when I hear someone say, "Oh, I had an $85 ribeye," I'm like, $85 ribeye? And this is our high end. I know how high end certain steakhouses get in Vegas and New York and Miami and California. Not 85 would be like some Denny's. But however, when I hear that price, it's like $85. I could get like 2 massive, like 1 3/4 inch ribeyes, the best I could find, and then cook it to perfection before I'd ever go. I kind of believe that aspect of dining out is a little bit of a psyopy scam. You know, like I do understand that for people that work a lot at a job that they hate, the reward of being served and not having to do anything is worth the price, I suppose. However, being out of the work environment my whole life, I just I see it as a scam. I was like, why would I pay so much for something that I could do arguably better? I would put it up against anyone's. E-money, do you grill outside? Well, I see part of the carnivore journey is that you try all aspects of cooking the steak. And for a while I would do the barbecue, and I just thought it would taste better and I would get a better grill and sear, but I found it was a little inconsistent. And then I went inside and I started doing the cast iron frying of it. And that's, I got all the thermometers, you know, I'll talk about this in the video, but to keep a long story short, I got all the thermometers that you need to make a perfect steak. All of them are liars. None of them are accurate. They're all like, you got to know the thermometer. Right. So I would get to know it. I'm like, okay, well, when it says 100 degrees, it's actually 80. And when it says it's done, it's actually not done. Right. So you have to get to know your lying thermometer. And so finally, I just started recording times and thicknesses. And now I basically have it down to like a 6 minute sit. So like 3 minutes, maybe a quick do the butter basting and then a 6 minute. Anyway, what does this have to do with Bitcoin? I'll tell you what it has to do with Bitcoin. It's all about patience when you're cooking a steak. It's all about patience when you are hodling in the Bitcoin bull market. It's harder to hodl in a bull market than it is a bear market, because usually you're down. So where are you going, right? Where are you going? You're down. You're going to sell at the bottom? Are you a top buying bottom seller? Song that's going to be coming out on the crypto album too. It's just like steak. I've ruined so many steaks by not being patient, not waiting for the sit. You know, I'm just like, God damn it, I'm so hungry. I bet it's good now. Wrong. It's not good. It's still good. Not perfect though. Not cooked to perfection. So patience for your ribeye. Patience for the steak sit. Patience for the bull market. And that's all I got to say today. Love you all. Have the best one ever.
Make sure you like and subscribe.